Hello everyone, my name is Mitchell Mander and welcome to my live stream slash video slash whatever this is when you're viewing it. If you're viewing it afterwards, obviously it's just a video of the stream, but yeah, you know what I mean. My throat is still killing me, so please bear with me today as I try to go through this live stream. But yeah, that's pretty much what we do on the channel. We talk about Pokemon, the Horizon series. I also do some other streams as well, like Mario Kart and all that good stuff. So if you like this stuff, you should totally sub the channel, like the video, and yeah, watch until the end. Watch time really does help. Another thing I want to mention is that you can hear the music in the background. It comes from another stream, the Video Game Study Lounge from Game Chops. I have a link in the description, so if you want to, check it out sometime, it's pretty neat. Pretty much it's like video game music remixed in kind of a lo-fi style. I listen to it a lot when I'm working or like working out or whatnot, or just relaxing at home. It's pretty neat, so I recommend checking it out. Now, if you are someone that's new, usually what we do here is I give it a couple minutes for people to show up. If not, I'll start reviewing the episode, give my thoughts, and I'll assign a rate. So I'm going to give it until about the 5-minute mark, and then at that point I will start actually reviewing the episode. One thing I will say is it definitely does feel like we're like at a turning point for the series, just because we're halfway through the heroes now. We have another one of the heroes showing up at the end, being the Black Rayquaza, so it's about ready to start some stuff. So we only have 2 more to really go for, and then Rayquaza whenever we find it, which we'll probably go back to Area 0 for that. I'm pretty sure that Rayquaza or whatever the heck that paradise that Lucius found is probably in Area 0. Probably underneath, kind of like we saw in the trailer this last week for the upcoming Indigo Disc DLC. There's like a crystal tree underneath Area 0, so maybe that's the paradise that Lucius was talking about. So yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, though, if that's the case. But yeah, again, if you're just joining, sorry if I'm not speaking like super loud. If you can't tell, my throat is very sore. It's been a rough week, honestly, trying to get over this cold. I feel slightly better than I did how I felt like Tuesday, Wednesday, where I was super fatigued and had the chills and all that wonderful stuff that comes with colds. I don't really have that anymore, so I feel a lot better in that regard, but still sick. So I might give it another minute and then we'll get started. Claudeless is here. Hi, welcome. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Yeah, I thought this was a pretty good one. I'm about ready to give my thoughts here momentarily. This is the best. I will say this is the best episode we've gotten probably since episode 25, probably. So I guess it makes sense, given that the last 5 episodes or so have kind of been slower. So alright, we're almost at the 5-minute mark, so we'll start reviewing the episode here shortly. Oof. And let me guess. Fizzle Wizard showed up, gave it a 10 out 10 and left because Iona is not in the episode. I guarantee it. If you're there, you better say something. And then get back to work. I give this an 8 out of 10 because the poll won't show it for me. I don't know why that doesn't work for you. Anyways, let's, I guess I'll do my little review section here for episode 32 of Pokemon Horizons. So picking up where last week's episode ended off at, we met the Lapras, which is indeed Lucius's Lapras. And yep, it turns out that it's basically a trick what Lapras does. Like, they throw the mist on, to get the people that are lost at sea, kind of get them confused a little bit. They find Lapras and they're like, oh, Lapras is actually helping us out. But it turns out it is, but it isn't at the same time, just because its Pokemon buddies are stealing all the cargo from ships and stuff. And they're trying to do it here, but obviously Freed prevented it this last week. So they tried to actually barge in and actually fight back. And they were repelled back. So then the Rising Voltaclers chased after them. And they caught up. The Pokemon tried fighting back again. And that's where the old man and his Quagsire actually had some time to shine here, which that was actually pretty cool. Use Surf to kind of throw them off. And that's when Lapras had enough at that point and was actually charging at the ship, which actually, I liked how Freed had that look of oh shit, we might be in trouble. Especially if it destroys the ship and they're just stranded at sea. Yeah, that could have been bad. But it rams the ship once and then it freezes the ship completely so that they can't follow it. But it's interesting, and then this entire time Lico's trying to understand Lapras's feelings, which actually comes into play here in the episode, which I thought was pretty neat. But she actually realizes that there's a bunch of cargo that was stolen from obviously the other ship. So based on that information, she was able to deduce where Lapras and its buddies were hanging out at. And before Lapras made its way back, Lico, Roy, Freed actually made their way there and actually fed them all berries. So that was kind of cool. But they ended up, bonding with the Pokemon, having some berries. They talked to Lapras about Lucius, and we get another vision via Terapagos of Lucius. We get a little bit more. I think we're just getting more and more of what kind of happened to Lucius as time goes on, because Lucius declares that he won't die. He'll be going to Rakia with all of them. But obviously Lucius is not here anymore unless he's immortal or something, and he's hanging out in Area Zero or something, because that's pretty much where I'm pretty sure that's where this Rakia is at. Is probably the bottom of Area Zero. Like I said earlier, we got some new footage of what's underneath Area Zero, so we might be seeing some more that way. Anywho, they eventually convinced Lapras to join them so that Lapras can head to Rakia with the other ones. Also, Galarian Moltres and Orbolivia came out of their balls to help convince Lapras to join them too. So there was that. And the Pokemon go off on their own, but as the episode comes to an end, Rayquaza shows back up, leading into what is going to be probably one of the biggest episodes of the year for the series, with next week's episode, with Terapagos showing off its true form. So overall, I thought this was actually a very solid episode. I actually thought it was a pretty solid conclusion here. I thought it was handled a lot better than how Galarian Moltres was, in my opinion at least. I just think it was overall pretty nice. I like that it also aids with Lico's goal of, helping understand Pokemon, as she wanted to really understand how Lapras felt. So that's actually pretty cool. We got to know a little bit more about Lucius, and that was all neat. If I had some critiques for the episode, I should say. I noticed when the episode began, when they were actually battling the wild Pokemon, it seemed like they it seemed like there was some budgeting issues, just because there was a lot of still shot images, which was a little off-putting, not gonna lie. It kind of tells me that they're putting a lot of their budget into the next week's episode, so this episode probably suffered a bit as a result. But that doesn't like completely harm the episode. It's still a solid 8 out of 10 in my opinion. Definitely the strongest episode we've had in a little while, so I look forward to next week's episode. I think it's going to be a good one. But those are my thoughts. What do you guys think? I'm going to use the restroom really quickly, and when I come back, I will read the chat. I'll catch up on the chat, I should say. So, be right back. Alright, I've returned. Okay. So, I enjoyed the dialogue between Liko and Diana. Me too. I just wonder how these next 2 episodes are going to be handled, just because I do get the feeling that Diana is the one that's leaving here in episode 34, so we've only got so much more time, so what else can she impart before she potentially departs? Also, somebody rated this episode lower than 5. Please explain. Okay. I might be often drinking water, by the way. That way my throat doesn't get too scratchy, and I just don't start like coughing randomly. Also, Quagsire using Surf was a lot of fun to witness. It showed some dynamic shots that I haven't seen in a while. Yeah, I like to see Quagsire and the old man in action. They don't really get much time to shine, so it was actually pretty neat that they got a little bit of spotlight within this mini arc within Horizons. I mean, he was kind of steering the ship too, so so that was nice. It's just gonna be funny because it's like, oh, Rayquaza shows up, but like Amethio and the others immediately show up as well, so it just kind of comes out of nowhere a little bit. Specifically the shot of the ship bobbing and weaving, that was a great use of scale. Yeah, I agree. It was a neat moment. But what was I saying? Yeah, it's gonna be kind of interesting because it does feel like Rayquaza kind of showed up. I don't know if maybe Rayquaza showed up because all the other heroes kind of just were there together, so it kind of just brought its attention to Rayquaza or something. Then again, Rayquaza was spotted in the Galar region, so here it is showing up here, so I guess it doesn't really not make sense, I guess. Lucius in high resolution, yeah. We pretty much saw saw him completely, which was neat. Very neat. But, yeah. Sorry. I need my water. And that was some good water. Now that my throat's been replenished, let's see what else we got. I love how some people think he's a woman. Really? I mean, I guess I haven't really been paying a ton of attention to what people have been saying. I just find that interesting. I'd have to look that up. Let me actually see if I can find something. Now you're making me curious. Oh, indigo disc is trending. I am looking. Let's see what we can find. A lot of people think he looks like a woman. Surprised that it's a man like Grusha. Oh, it's one of those things. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'm seeing some interesting takes online, though. Speaking of which, we got some Pokemon remix music in the background. Perfect. Hey, we got 4 people here. What's up? You know, would be actually really cool if you actually liked the video and, like, voted and all that good stuff. I mean, if you can vote. It would be cool. Just saying. But, trying to think what else I got here. I apologize if if my voice is just like falling apart over here. I'm trying. Hold on, I'm getting a text message. I will respond to your comment shortly. Just give me one moment. I'm getting multiple text messages. Okay, anyways, but yeah, this man must carry a large pool of X chromosomes. That's funny. But, I'm very curious to see what Lucius's story is, but it seems like we're getting, like, a little bit here and there, but it seems like he had to leave his Pokemon behind for some reason, and he mentioned that he doesn't intend on dying until he goes to Rakia. He wants to go with them, so I wonder what potentially happened. It's got to be something between him and the explorers. They were friends, so obviously something must have happened along the way. Blatantly stating that he won't die is both hilarious and alarming, which means he probably died. He probably did. Well, obviously dead. He's an ancient person, unless he like got preserved or something. I just think the explorers probably had something to do with it. Wonder how tragic of an end he met. Explorers, probably. Well, the question is, I want to know more about the whole, like, Gibeon and, like, what the explorers want. Because there's obviously something going on here, and they obviously want Terapagos for their own means, which, who knows what that could be. Wouldn't surprise me if they killed him. They probably disposed of him for their own means. That's probably why they were friends. They were only friends with him so that they could get Terapagos and get Terapagos from him or something. Now the question is, Lico's grandmother had the pendant. I guess the explorers must have not. How did Lucius get the pendant away from the explorers? Or I guess there's going to be some questions that are going to need to be answered, because it eventually like found its way to Lico's grandmother, because it was found in her house when she was a child. So it makes you wonder. Maybe he had like a son or something, or a daughter, and passed the pendant to them, or Terapagos turned into the pendant to trick the explorer. Like, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this story fills itself out. I guess the more that we know, the more interesting the story gets, though. And the more it makes you wonder. I guess once we get to the end, we're going to look back on this. We're going to like, oh, this actually makes sense. Or like, oh, you know, the reason why this happened, that now it like makes sense. It seems like we're building up to that, and I am hoping for a satisfying conclusion when this all comes to an end. Because I have a feeling that they might be able to pull it off if this has a satisfying ending. I have a feeling that Lucius will fulfill his promise through Lico. Like in the movie Holes. I'm not sure. Oh my gosh. Holes? That's going back a bit. I don't even think I remember the plot of Holes. I'd have to look up the plot for Holes. It's been a long time since I watched that. Okay, I'm kind of reading it a little bit, so I kind of seen what you mean now. There's a plot where Madame's Ronnie told a man to carry her up the mountain, but he never fulfilled his promise. I gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. I see where you're coming from. I was kind of reading it and I'm like, okay, I think I'm kind of remembering now. And in present day, the descendant fulfilling said promise with Zerani's descendant. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. I see. Okay, I shouldn't push myself like that. Oh, wonderful H2O. Okay, now my voice feels a little bit better after having that water. I feel like that's what Horizon is doing with Liko and Terapagos, probably. That way that she's basically fulfilling his dreams, his wishes. So Rakua is probably going to be again, it has to be Area 0. It doesn't make really much sense for it to be anywhere else. So at least that's probably what our end game is. So okay. Trying to think what else we can talk about here. I'll pose a question. So for the next 2 episodes, going into these ones, especially with episode 34, what do you think is going to be happening in the respective departures episode after Rayquaza shows up and does its thing in episode 33? What do you think's going to happen in episode 34? You think we're going to see Rayquaza take off to the next region? Do you think we're going to see Diana leave? Someone else leave? Probably not, but the way I see respective departures now is Rayquaza making his respective departure to the next region, and Metheo and his gang taking off just because they're going to probably lose pretty badly here. And of course, the Rising Volt Tackler's taking off, and probably Diana going on her own, staying in Galar or something. It's so funny seeing Rayquaza slap off Ceruledge. Yeah, Metheo thought he had a chance. I think this upcoming failure is going to be a big one. He's probably going to be put through the ropes again. He's going to need to get that power up. He's definitely going to need it if he's going to stand a chance against Rayquaza. Grandma leaves, but I'm wondering why she's choosing to leave. Yeah, that is a good question. Either she wants to stay in Galar, or she thinks that Liko is good enough to go on her own. I think she's pretty much served her purpose for the most part. Hold on. Excuse me. That was pretty much bugging me for the last minute. And I gotta take some more water here. There we go. My throat feels a little bit better now. She did serve her purpose. Yeah, she essentially like came here, gave exposition, basically got us to where we know where we're going probably next for the next two heroes. Sinnoh for Cleavor, and then Johto for Entei. So we kind of know what's up next. So I wonder if we'll see her again. We might see her maybe later on. Maybe when we go to Area 0. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows what the plan is, but I feel like she isn't going to be gone permanently. I feel like as a recurring character, as like someone that was here on the ship, she was just a temporary companion. So that's done, but she most likely will make an appearance probably later on. Maybe she even Liko gives her a call and like advice on something. Who knows? But I get the feeling that she's going to determine that, Liko's matured, and she's actually doing a better job than she did. At this point, she's got 3 of the heroes now, so she's going to leave the rest to her or something like that. That's just the way I probably see it happening. I mean, granted, I wasn't expecting her to actually, stay with us for as long as she has. I was expecting just a visit, and then we were taken off. Kind of like with her parents. But for her to actually stay with us for a little bit was actually kind of nice. I'm wondering that now that the grandma will be absent for a while, I hope that this means we'll be getting more focus on Luca. Possibly. I'm not sure. We'd have to go back to Paldea, since Luca also appeared in the opening. That is true, but I'm a little unsure. I guess the question would be, what purpose would she have for the next 2 heroes, potentially? I can tell you right now, Cleavor is going to be the next one for sure. How we obtain it is going to be interesting to see. I've heard some things about having to go back in time to Hisui, but I don't know how that's going to be possible unless Terapagos somehow knows time travel. Probably after the 2 heroes are recovered. Okay, so that would be after the next 2 arcs. Okay. That is a possibility. But yeah, I think with the Cleavor situation, unless we're going back in time, I think we're going to somehow find it. Because it would be kind of strange for us to go back in time and then bring it back to the present. Unless Celebi is also hanging out nearby and just sends them all to the pass. That was a previous theory I had back in the Journeys days. Which that was 2 years ago now I made that video. I remember I thought, Ash, Go, and Kaharu were going to go to Sinnoh, and then Go was going to get frustrated and be like, I need to meet these Hisuian Pokemon for my Project Mew thing. And Celebi hears that and just sends him back in time. Yeah. That didn't exactly happen. But yeah, it has been clear that there has been build-up episodes ago of Liko and Luca meeting. Hold on. Sorry, my throat just keeps failing on me. Since the writer's choice to have them not see each other. Oh yeah, back in the beginning for sure. Just because she was absent for a little bit there. I wonder what her role is gonna be later on. It would be an interesting thing to see. I wonder what Ray. I called Roy Ray. I wonder what Roy's gonna do in the future. I'm kind of hoping maybe he gets a new goal or something, or some focus. Cause I do feel like he's kind of just there at the moment. Maybe an evolution will help. And Liko stated that she looks forward to seeing her mom again after hearing Freed's backstory. That's true. Yeah, the question is, how are they going to implement that? We have to go back to Paldea. I mean, like I said, she could be involved in the whole Area Zero thing later on. She could actually play a big role in that. Maybe that's the climax. Maybe Liko's grandmother comes back for that too. And that's how Liko actually finds the paradise. Drops off all the hero Pokemons, and then, yeah. I'm hoping that Luca is a teacher at Orange Academy. She could be. That'd actually be pretty interesting. Will we ever have that shown in the series, though? I mean, that's a big part of the games, obviously, but will we actually see it in Horizons? Because that whole thing is kind of, not relevant to what Horizons' story is telling. Because they mentioned she was a teacher. That is true. It's just, it makes you wonder how we can implement that into this story here. Unless we go there before we go to Area Zero. That could be a reason why. And then we get Nimona to join us. I'm wondering if Penny or the other rival, I forget, his name escapes me at the moment. I wonder if they're gonna make an appearance down the road. Yeah, but hasn't it been established that you can't enter Area Zero unless you fulfill specific requirements? I mean, sure. I mean, that rule could apply to Horizons. They could actually have an exception if Rayquaza decides to invade too. We'll just have to see how they handle it. The anime tends to do its own things at times. Also, didn't you enter Area Zero with your companions unauthorized? Because I'm pretty sure we did. It will continue to be its own thing while only slightly touching the games, yeah. That's pretty much how the anime is going to be. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they handle that when we cross that bridge. I feel like the Rising Tacklers will have to go through red tape first. Yeah, probably everybody seeing that ship trying to go into Area Zero might raise a little bit of red flags. I guess I see what you mean there. Which is why I think they'd park their ship somewhere and then climb in through the side or something. It'd kind of be like Final Fantasy VII at the end, where they have to park the high one outside the Great Crater, and it ends up falling in when it starts collapsing. I don't know. That came to my mind. Yeah. Who knows? All we can do is speculate, I guess. And then I'll tell you what, the anime tends to do the complete opposite of what we all think. And it might happen again. Who knows? Okay. So I'm gonna be completely honest. I think that we're only gonna go on a little bit longer here. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like my throat can handle too much more. So maybe about 10 more minutes, unless more people show up. But yeah, my throat's getting, at this point, I'm about ready to start coughing again. Hold on. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Colds suck. Especially this one that I caught this year. This one's been a particularly nasty one. And unfortunately, it seems like Matt over here caught my cold as well, and he's he's completely out right now. So, anyways, enough of that chat. See what you got, Clawliz. Seeing Briar struggle to get to Area Zero does make it seem unlikely that the Reservoir tacklers will struggle similarly. Yeah, I guess we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens and how that. I guess how that's handled. You know, another thing too is another thing we haven't considered is I guess the anime is going to take a different route, because obviously in the games you had the professors that were investigating the Paradox Pokemon. Think we're going to see some Paradox Pokemon when we go there? Because that sure would be interesting. I like this Cass remix. They're really curious if the DLC will give us an idea of how Horizons will go. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too. We see Terapagos in his original form in the trailer that came out the other day. So I'm very curious to see what's going on. Also, the one instructor there I think might be evil. Based on the cover for that, the poster for it. But it's definitely going to be interesting. I think we're going to kind of get an idea of where our end game is with Terapagos, which is Area Zero. But it seems like we're getting another layer, another area underneath Area Zero, so we'll see even further down the depths of Area Zero. I guess that's why it's called the hidden treasure of Area Zero. So is Terapagos the hidden treasure of Area Zero? Probably. Or is the tree the hidden treasure? It's gonna probably show us something. Like whatever we see down there is probably what we're gonna probably come across towards the end of Horizons. Well, I gotta bounce. See ya. Okay. Thanks for joining. Sorry if I've been overly sick. I'm trying to, get over it, but thank you for joining. Thank you. Thank you. It's always a pleasure, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of the day. Anyways, with that said, I think we're going to go ahead and bring this stream to a close since my voice can't really handle too much more. So, hopefully by the time we do the next stream, I don't sound like I'm on my deathbed. So, hopefully things go better next time. Hoping more people show up eventually. It's kind of been slow lately, but well. Anyways, guys, that's the end for this. I'm going to end the poll. I'm going to give this episode an 8 out of 10. That's pretty solid. So, guys, have a good day or night where you're at, and I'll see you all later. Bye.